We're done.
Do it again. You're good. You're good.
1, 2, 3. We're in California. Listen to Agents of Rage.
What's up, Ragers? What's up, party people? Welcome to another episode of Agents of Rage. My name is Elren. This is TD, and this is episode 10. Kind of a milestone for us. The fact that we've got 10 episodes now, and it hasn't even been a year since we just thought of the idea of doing a podcast, yet here we are.
Yep. Yeah, pretty crazy. This is just a random late evening at the VIP Michigan Metal Fest.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's do this. And I don't think you thought I was serious, but I was.
I know. It's true.
But here we are.
Here we are, and having a great time. We want to give a shout out to Dead Heat for fumbling through the intro. I kid, of course, but so appreciative from the bands so far that have taken a moment to do that for us, and they don't have to do that, and yet they do. It's really, really awesome. So with that said, story of the shirt right off the bat, I've got my Dead Heat shirt that I got from that gig. What are you donning today, TD?
Well, I actually got COC, Corrosion of Conformity, and I hadn't worn this shirt in a while, so I was like, I'll wear this. And I have two kind of memories from it going backwards. I was on a walk with my oldest daughter one day, and somebody's yelling out their window at me, and from the car, and it was turned out to be a friend of mine as I'm walking down the street randomly, and I've got this shirt on. And then I remember back in, I think it was about 85, the first COC album, which is basically a punk album.
Right.
And they ultimately turned into sludge metal, maybe? I don't know what you would call them, but they evolved. And I love those guys. I try to see them every time they come into town.
Yeah. I've only seen them once. Had a chance to see them, though, at Heavy Montreal, and it was fantastic. And they still sound great today. I hope they continue to, get back out on the road and do some tours, or at least do some of the fests. So that, even if it's just a half hour or 45-minute set, we can get a chance to listen to COC. So that's cool. Well, since we can't see it fully, why don't you just kind of like stand up a little and just give us a little look at the shirt? Okay.
There we go. Let's see if I can get up.
Nice. Dig it.
It's the best I could do.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. All right. Let me give you guys a preview of what we've got going on the show today. As you saw in the intro, I caught a show back on February 23rd at the Magic Stick in downtown Detroit. Great little venue, great pizza. It's set up. It's a bowling alley on the first floor and a music venue on the second floor.
Wow.
So
that's
it's
cool.
Really cool. Yeah, it's awesome. It's right on Woodward Avenue, which is the main drag in Detroit. I went and saw a phenomenal show with Dead Heat, Necrot, Ghoul, and a killer set from Municipal Waste. I've got live clips to share, of course. Now, you won't see any Necrot in this particular episode because I've got a show coming up to see them again in early July. So I'm going to give you clips from both shows from Necrot, and I figured that would be the best way to do that.
Nice.
So, yeah, you're going to get a heavy dose of death metal for that particular episode. So stay tuned if you're a death metal fanatic. So we're going to get going into those clips later in the program. But first, we're going to do our album spotlights to kind of start this week's show. And we're going to let TD take over and introduce the music he wants to share today in our album spotlight, because I understand there's a little bit of a story behind what we are presenting today. So take it away.
Yeah, I got one on Amazon, and was looking at searching rock star action figures, and I actually scored a Dee Snider action figure, which was what inspired, picking Dee Snider, his solo work, because he had that really cool album. He put 4 solo albums, but 2018 had the really cool one. But what it made me think is that Twisted Sister's not thrash metal, of course, but I don't feel like they get the credit they deserve for kicking down the door for virtually every metal band that exists on MTV, because they were really at the forefront of the music videos. Something that's just not guys on a stage, an actual sort of short clip or short movie, right? And they were in heavy rotation with "You Can't Stop." Was it "You Can't Stop Rock and Roll"? Or no, "I Want to Rock." And
we're not going to
take it. Yeah. So those two were in heavy rotation. But I did some research.
And I Want to Rock.
And I Want to Rock. Yeah. And so I did some research on them, and I was interesting to find out they started in 1972. So they stuck with it before they became famous. But they ended up having 2 albums before the big one, "Stay Hungry," which was the 3rd album where the videos were from. And then they only had 3 more studio albums, and one was a Christmas record. So they had a long career, but not a lot of music recorded. But Dee Snider's done a really good job of keeping himself relevant. He's been on reality shows. He collaborates with a lot of other musicians, in addition to the solo work. But I would have liked to see him on tour with his Dee Snider solo, because the solo stuff is more metal. I mean, it's metal. It's not the Twisted Sister sort of glam rock music. But they definitely never got the credit they deserve, because every band made a name for themselves on MTV, except for Metallica, which was by choice. But and it was they have Twisted Sister to thank for knocking down that door. So anyway, it made me think of that story, and I was like, you know what? I want to talk about that.
I agree, and I'm so glad you brought it up. I watched a documentary, and I don't know where, but it was on Twisted Sister, and you talk about perseverance and dedication. These guys in the 70s, I believe it was New York, New York kind of New Jersey thing. They were just like trogging along. Like, it was interesting. Like late 70s, they really had a really strong following in the New York area. And remember, people, this is long before any internet was invented or anything like that. So there was no way of people, across the states really understanding or knowing who they were. But they had a really great local following. And this is how a lot of bands kind of, made their way and were able to kind of keep going until the eventual thing that changed the world, which was MTV. Yep. So I really appreciated the fact that they were so dedicated to everything that they did, and they were trying to, and again, for the people that don't understand, and you should watch some documentaries from the late 70s and early 80s, it was, the whole glam thing. Kiss made it very popular, and bands saw that, hey, if we put some makeup on our face, if we dress a certain way, whatever, regardless of the music, we're going to make the music we want to make. But the look is what people are into,
Yep. Yeah.
And it's just the way it was.
Yeah.
And there were bands making a lot of money, like Kiss and Faces and other bands that were, let's face it, were very glam-ish. And so, they look, Motley Crue. I mean, if you look at a lot of the first album, Motley Crue, and even into Shout at the Devil, they were still a glam thing. And then that whole thing, the whole 80s, was makeup and hair.
Yeah. Lots of hairspray.
It's just what it was. Now, the thing is, if you were somebody who was like, oh, I would have never done that, or let me tell you something. Those guys, and this is coming from a guy who grew up in Hollywood, and in the 80s, I was on the Sunset Strip, and I was going, those guys got more ladies than you could possibly understand. And let me tell you something, those ladies looked phenomenal. I mean,
That is
it was like
absolutely true.
those groupies were unbelievable, and you saw it in the Bay Area. Now it's interesting because the Bay Area really embraced the thrash and came up with more of a dressed down kind of look. You know, they weren't going to placate to what was happening down south. That was probably a major reason why Metallica moved to the Bay Area. But the point is, Twisted Sister had slogged, put in the time, put in the work, you know, and when they were ready to break out, they were ready because they were seasoned pros. And they went with the sound, and I can't even tell you how big We're Not Gonna Take It, I Wanna Rock, all of that, how big that, you know, was. I mean, they used Animal House, you know, the guy from Animal House in their video. That's right. You know, is that a pledge pin on your uniform? I mean, it was unbelievable, and we ate it up. So granted, I'm like 13, 14, ate it up. And again, we weren't versed in a lot of more aggressive, more heavy metal. That was to come in a few years, especially, you know, as we discovered it. But this was a far cry from any kind of rock anybody was playing. This was heavy, and this was different, and it was fun. And Twisted Sister were at the center of it all. And I give Dee Snider a lot of credit. You know, he went before Congress, you know, and spoke, you know, about when they were trying to, you know, put the parental controls on the albums, and they were trying to demonize everything that they were doing. And he was so cogent, and he was so, you know, clear speaking and articulate. Exactly. The guy is an ambassador. Say what you want, but the guy is, you know, a legend. He's on par with so many other legends. He is in heavy metal and rock and roll. He's probably on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. You take him and his band out of the equation, and it's a whole different landscape. And one more quick fun fact is Metallica opened for Twisted Sister early in their career, which not today.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen. But I mean, again, Twisted Sister had such, you know, it was like, you know, what as I think about it now, you know, the two, there were three really that, you know, broke the mold and just went crazy, and everybody went nuts for, especially MTV. And that was Twisted Sister, that was Quiet Riot, and it was Def Leppard. Yeah, you know,
I agree.
It was like those bands, and I loved it, and I bought the records, and I played it, and it was awesome. It was rebellious, and it was fun. And if the era was different, you know, it would be what it is. So, moving forward, let's get into what you want to showcase today, and this is For the Love. Again, like this could be our call sign, For the Love of Metal.
Yep. Yeah. You got to listen to the lyrics. They're very cool.
They are very cool. For the Love of Metal is the album. And again, we do an album spotlight every week, and we want you guys to, you know, again, sit down and listen to an album. You know what I mean? Take it in, whether you're on the road or you're got headphones on at home. The spotlights we do is so that, you know, we think this is an experience as an album, not just a song, not a download. We want you to experience the album. So we've got a couple selections from For the Love of Metal from Dee Snider, and we're going to play that right now.
They won't say it!
go. You listen to that, and you're right, man. It is metal. It's heavy.
Yeah.
Those guys are killing it. I would love nothing more. And I remember a few years ago, they played in some of the festivals, and Dee Snider would be look, if Vince Neil and Motley Crue are doing some of the festivals, why not Dee Snider to do a 35, 40-minute set? I would love that.
Oh, yeah. I absolutely. His voice still sounds great. It would be super cool to see them.
Yeah, no doubt. And he's still putting out music, and that's great. And so go check out Dee Snider. If you never heard of Twisted Sister, go back, listen to him again. Put in context of, it's the 80s. But I will tell you this, there's people today that are discovering like 80s metal. And look aside, forget all that. Just music-wise, and they're like, wow, I'm really digging this, It's a great sound. And, it's not dated. It still sounds good today. Some of the stuff that we talk about and we bring on here, that might be, it's a different fare, but still good stuff. And that whole album, that For the Love of Metal, you listen to it, I Am the Hurricane and all that.
Yeah.
There are some really solid metal songs. And let me tell you something, if we were at a festival and they were playing that set, we would be bobbing our heads and we would jump into the pit.
No doubt. That's for sure.
Yeah. So good on Dee Snider that he's still doing it, man. And I love that. And again, if he toured and he came here and he did like a club show or something, or maybe he was doing, one of the amphitheaters and, perhaps he was opening up for for a Rob Zombie or something, I'm in. Yeah. I'm in. I would 100%. Go just because he was playing. So, all right, let's get into what I wanted to share today. And this is a band you probably for sure have never heard of, but I dig them tremendously. Can't even tell you how I discovered them. I just did. The band is called Rhythm of Fear, and they are another band that's out of Florida. We've been featuring a few bands out of Florida recently. Jacksonville is the location for these guys. Started in 2010 when Logan Miano on drums got together with Stephen Todd on guitar, and they just started jamming. That was it. A few weeks later, Jay Santiago on vocals and the original bassist, who's only known as Panda, joined the band. I love everything they've put out so far since the 2011 demo, 2 EPs, 2 full-length albums. I've chosen their latest and, in my opinion, their best work. It is one of those things that their sound is evolving. I love what, like, new bands and newer bands where, they've kind of start one way, they kind of start this and then they start to really, they get a great producer who really starts to round out their sound and they become better musicians. I've chosen their latest work, which is called Fatal Horizons. It's out of 2022. Their early work is, again, more of that kind of hardcore crossover style, but this is really thrash metal, these guys in general. Maybe more like Blackened Thrash, which again, I love. Right? I love that term. I'm all about that. I love that, and it really is officially now my favorite genre, Blackened Thrash. That's it.
Yes.
That defines cool. Exactly. So currently they are on the MNRK Heavy label. Let's get into 2 songs of the 2022 Rhythm of Fear album. This is called Fatal Horizons.
Defending enough that was never made for us. A system running lies in fear. A system built to divide. Corrupted laws, corrupted minds. Corrupted walls complete. Divide, fighting is so bad. I just brutality. Defend, never roll back. Stand in unity. Right here in tear caskets. Onto the tape. Crushing justice, twisting truth, a nation under siege. Races divide. Cause we got lost to strip down. We miss our work, the pain won't stop. My head is about to explode. I'm never being outside of belief. Someone with the left front alone. Self-destructive brain. Self-destructive. Self-destructive brain.
Rhythm of Fear. I like those guys. You know, interesting thing is you can tell, actually, if you go to their Facebook page, they have a recent post that shows like all the bands that influenced them. And you can hear it. If you listen to the album, you can hear it. There's, you know, all kinds of you know, kind of rhythms and things like that that bands, you know, I wouldn't say steal from, but they borrow from it in that style and that presentation all in the middle of the song. Every song is a banger on that album. The interesting thing is the LP they did right before that, their first full-length album, it's kind of like really great riffs, and the songs are a little short, you know, so it's very similar to kind of like what we're going to get into later tonight in being Municipal Waste, and there's a lot of thrash bands that will do those kind of like 2-minute songs, and it's great, but it's like you're just getting into it and then they end.
Right. I did hear some Metallica in there. I picked up on Through the Never.
Yeah, exactly. There's like Metallica. If you listen to the first track, there is definitely some Sacred Reich influence in there. Mm-hmm. You hear some kind of John Bush vocals, some Armored Saint kind of throughout some of the stuff they do. It's really, really good. And, you know, the interesting thing is I don't see them touring anywhere right now. They're doing on occasion some local gigs in Florida with bands like Visigoth and other bands. But if you live in the Sunshine State, look them up, follow them on their social media, tell them to tour because we're ready.
Yeah, we're waiting.
Exactly, ready to see those guys. And again, gosh, you know, those fests we go to, these are the kinds of bands I want to see early in the day.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
Again, I tell you, if I make my money someday, I don't know, somehow, some millions come my way, however, I am definitely doing festivals, and I'm going to have bands like these filling the coffers. And,
absolutely.
And that's what I want, so... All right, so it's time now to get into the live portion of today's episode. A look back at my experience at the Magic Stick in Detroit on February 23rd. We're going to start with a California band who you saw in the open from Oxnard, to be exact. Their name is Dead Heat, and let's watch.
Love it. Never heard of them either.
Yeah. So there you go. Actually, happened to did see Dead Heat a few years ago as well, and we just recently found out because Woody actually shared a post that said that Metal Blade Records just signed these guys.
Oh, nice.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
The California Crossover Collective is now added to the Metal Blade iconic roster. Forged in 2016, Dead Heat is known for their high-energy live performances and aggressive sounds that draw influences from various subgenres of thrash, punk, hardcore, and metal. So congratulations to them. I would highly recommend you see those guys, support them on their way up. Future looks bright for those dudes. So good stuff.
So bright, you got to wear shades.
That's right. That's it. All right. Next up on the docket, Ghoul, another California band, except from Oakland.
Yep.
And
locals.
their identity's, of course, supposed to be secret. They started in 2001. You've seen these guys, right?
Yeah, I've seen them a few times. Yeah, they're good. They're like oh man, a light version of I'm drawing a blank.
Guar.
There you go. Yeah, I could picture them, but the name was escaping. Yeah, they're like a light version of Guar.
Yeah. Different. I would say these guys are thrashier than Guar.
Yeah,
for sure. And they are they were fun. I had never seen them before. I had listened to some Ghoul, and again, a band that's been around. And so I was excited that they were part of the tour, and they fit right into the bill, and everybody had a great time. So why don't we check out some clips from Ghoul at the Magic Stick?
I'm surprised they don't play locally as often as you would think they do, considering they're from here. But I've seen them probably 4 or 5 times. I'd say I had a glow-in-the-dark Ghoul shot glass I got. And I bought 2 of them. The one I bought from my friend LA had actually some fake blood on it, so it's kind of cool. But I lost the damn thing, and it's on. But I did post a picture of it on our Instagram page, so I have proof of my squirt.
There you go. Yeah, I'll tell you. It's interesting. That was a wild show. After Dead Heat, I had to get out of that because there was no way I was going to be able to get any clips whatsoever. The whole place was moving, man. It was crazy, and the stage diving was nuts. So I was just like, I found a little spot that I could get a little, elevated view so I could get some cool clips because I wanted to capture that energy. So it was nuts. It's interesting. The band was started to show the members appreciation for old school crossover style thrash metal. That's why they got going. And of course, it means that you and I, and with them, we park our shuttlecrafts in the same shuttle bays. We are definitely on the same page as far as showing that appreciation. We love that music, and it's fantastic. Ghoul has an EP that came out this year. It's called Noxious Concoctions. If you want to check that out. They're not touring at the moment, but if you get a chance to see them in your town, you should definitely go check them out because they're a fun time. So, and speaking of a fun time, finally, Municipal Waste from Richmond, Virginia, started the same year as Ghoul, which is 2001, brought the party back to thrash. Super influential band, super cool, like a lot of old speed metal songs, again, about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, but they just kick ass from start to finish. So why don't we take a moment to check out, actually, I have quite a few clips from this because it was such a great show. So sit back, kick back, and enjoy this. Nuclear Blast signed band, Municipal Waste, from February 23rd in Detroit, Michigan. Check it out.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Love those guys.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of give a sense of the atmosphere and kind of play a little extended because it was like controlled chaos. You know? It's really
a lot of stage divers.
I know, and it was just, but you look at that and it's like that's just fun.
Oh, everyone was having fun.
For everybody. Everybody was having a blast. There was this cardboard box. I don't know if you saw it. It was being like tossed around, just incessantly.
It was a seat cushion.
It's just this cardboard box, and it was
pretty
crazy.
random.
It's so random, and it was crazy. And just since 2019, it's the fourth time that I've had a chance to see them. Rah and I saw them at Heavy Montreal in 2019. 2021 saw them at the Shelter in Detroit with Dead Heat. That was the first time I saw Dead Heat. Yeah. So they've toured with them before. In 2022, we saw them at Blue Ridge Rock Fest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Tony Forresta, who's the lead singer, that said that Detroit show that you just saw was the best one that they had on the tour. So everyone was having a great time. It was so much fun. And there is a new album out now, just came out from Municipal Waste. It's called Tango and Thrash. So if anybody who are 80s fans know there was a movie called Tango and Cash, just a love movie. But maybe people don't get the reference. Tango and Thrash, go get it. They're going to be in Europe in the fall. So they're going to head there. So if you happen to be there, go be there. Go see Municipal Waste. So, ladies and gentlemen, we mentioned this last week. We talked about it a little on the show. We have an Instagram page now. TD has been filling up with lots of photos and stuff. What are you posting, bro, just so people know?
Well, before I get to that, watching Municipal Waste has inspired me for my next album Spotlight next week. And it goes along with the naming something after something else, and then it's perceived the way you didn't want it to be. So I'll save the story, but
okay.
And you can hear our mascot.
Hey, it's the official mascot of Agents of Rage.
That's right. Good timing. The Instagram page. I've been posting photos that I've had on my phone for years and tagging bands and other guys in there. And I've got some short videos I found. I found some pictures of posters I've gotten from shows and added some music to it, and just kind of sharing, pretty much sharing my metal journey in still photos, basically, where our Facebook and YouTube is the show, and on there it's primarily shots of me and whoever I'm going to the show with and things like that. So it's pretty cool. I've got a lot of photos, and then I encourage Woody and you to send me photos as well, and I'll post on there. And it's just, it's been a lot of fun. We're getting a lot of traction. We're up to 55 followers. A lot of people are interested in it, so it's fun. It's having a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's great. It's a great add-on to what we're trying to do here. And I'm definitely going to send some photos, probably a lot of clips. Some of the stuff that you may see here, you could see it just kind of like just pulled out, as a little just individual thing. And I'll put the date and where it was so that you understand when you're watching a band, like, oh, okay, that was whatever, 2020 and, well, probably not 2020 in 2020, but 2022 or whatever here and there. So, I'll definitely do that. I think that's all we got for now, bro, unless you have anything else you want to add.
No, I'm good. Another good show. I think we're coming up with some really cool albums that we're exposing people to that probably would never think of, and just trying to keep the show entertaining. We're here to have fun, and we want everyone who's watching the show to enjoy it as well. And that's it, man.
Yeah, that's
Metal
it.
Up
That's
your
it.
ass.
I've already got my Spotlight band for next week. I love these guys. You'll love them too. You know them, and they're great. And I've been actually listening to, again, the hardest thing for me is trying to figure out which album I want to spotlight, because a lot of it, like, I'm into it, and then I'll be like, oh, that's it, and then I'll listen to another one. So it's crazy, but Again, when we show the spotlights, hopefully we turn you on to the band, and then you listen to all their works, and that's how, and again, if you see them or whatever, you can say, hey, man, I found you guys on Agents of Rage. Not only would they go, who the fuck is that?
Right?
But they would also be like, oh, and they would tell them, and they'd be like, oh, that's cool, man. That's great. That's the metal community. That's what it is. So, sharing and there's nothing better. There is nothing better than discovering a band that you had never heard of, listening to the music and connecting with it and being like, oh man, I'm so glad I found these guys and I love this and it's awesome. So, hey,
absolutely.
You can find Agents of Rage on YouTube. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Please like, please subscribe, please share. That's the best way you can show your gratitude to this program, is sharing it to your friends and other people. Feel free to tell us what metal bands and metal music you love. It really doesn't matter what style it is. We've had a variety of styles here already in the first 10 episodes. There is room for all of it, and we've said it before, we'll say it again. We have been very surprised about some bands that we had a preconceived notion before we saw them live, and there's just something about that live experience, and some of those bands have really kind of reshaped our thinking about who they are, because when you see bands live, it's raw, it's transparent, the musicianship shows out, and there are some great bands out there with a lot of talent, and when you strip away all the production, you're like, wow, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
And, we love all genres. So, hey guys, we'll see you next time, Ragers. For TD, I'm Elren. Keep it loud and keep it metal. You can now return to your regular life. Agents of Rage out. We'll see you.
See ya.